Hello, and thank you for stopping by. Boy, if you're just joining us, you've entered a series, a fun project that we're getting ready to kick off here. This will be actually video or episode number 4, where we're going to be restoring a Gibson garden tractor. First 3 videos was acquiring an engine and doing a will it run video to get it up in par. We want to get the engine going, and then we will probably restore the engine first and continue on in the series. So if you're new here, thank you for stopping by. I encourage you to go back and watch the other 3 episodes and get up to date. Yeah, we'll go with that. So where we left off, so we almost had it running. Got a couple pops out of it, but it just wasn't happy. I did pull the Magnito back off and clean the points one more time, but to no avail. And I just plain got frustrated. We built a pull starter that isn't the right type of rope, and I knew it wasn't going to be the right type of rope. I was just really hoping I can get that thing going. So, yeah, where we're at. So I did go ahead and get the right type of rope, and then I've got some new dowel material here. So I think where I want to go tonight is go ahead and build, I'm thinking 2 rope starters. Obviously one for the engine and one to put away. So it's just sometimes easier to do it that way when you're got to do something like this, to go ahead and make an extra one. So where I'm at. So yeah, I slept on this. Was a little frustrated that the engine wouldn't run, but I really didn't have very high hopes of it running. Yeah, it's just sometimes one of those things. So I got to think about it, and here's what I've come up with. I know it's getting fuel. I've verified that, but it seems like the spark is just sporadic. And I think that's cause of 2 things. I know that the points are really dirty in this thing, and I had to really get in there and file. And like an idiot, after I filed the points, I didn't even consider the fact that I probably needed to reset the gap in there. So the gap could be off. The other thing was that we had to make a spark plug wire. And the only material that I had was some of this new modern spark plug wire material. It was a piece, and it was a piece I pulled off of my Farmall Cub when I restored it, because I just wasn't happy. It just likewise wasn't getting good spark. And what I found is with this new material, they work very well with the new electronic ignitions, but I don't know that they work so well with old Magnito systems. So that's the second thing that I found, was that I believe that the spark plug wire just may not be the right type. So with that, I looked at a couple things. I started pricing up what it would cost for a set of points for this thing, as well as a spark plug wire, and the bill was just climbing quite high. So I researched and got the part numbers for a set of points and a condenser, and then I had a brain fart. I remembered that last summer I ordered a Magnito, or I purchased a Magnito, I think off of eBay or something, and it came with an extra set of points and a condenser, and lo and behold, they weren't for that Magnito. But I hung on to them, because you always hang on to parts. And so when I started looking at part numbers, I ended up coming back out to the shops and my jammies, and I found those parts, and lo and behold, they were the right parts. They are the part numbers that match this Magnito. So we have a set of points, we have a condenser. Spark plug wire. I've got another project that's going to require a couple spark plug wires here down the road, and quite honestly, the wire that they recommended for this machine, you know, it was kind of high, and then I would end up having to wait to get it. So what I've done is I went ahead and purchased some bulk wire, as well as a new set of crimpers and a set of ends. So, you know, relatively cheap. Yeah, one of those wonderful Amazon purchases to get us by. So we should be able to make a wire. So I think what I'd like to do in this video, let's go ahead and start by going ahead and getting the rope pull starts constructed, and then we will go ahead and move on into repairing the Magnito. I'm going to go ahead and pull the Magnito off of the engine. We'll get it up here on the bench. We'll pull that cap back off, tear the old points and condenser out, put the new points and condenser in, and adjust the gap. and then make a wire, and I think she's going to run, boys and girls. So again, thanks for stopping by. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, and I'm really getting interested in this project now, so I think we're really close. Yeah, let's go. Alright, so let's move this tool out of the way. Where to begin? So went ahead and ran over to Tractor Supply and picked up some rope, and this is actually nylon rope, but it's tightly wound nylon rope. Had it bulk, so I went ahead and picked up 6 feet of it. First step is I need to go ahead and get the ends knurled down or frayed down or whatever, melted down, whatever the legal term is for that. We're going to use a lot of legal terms here. You know, it is what it is. Not a pro, but I enjoy tinkering in the shop, and we're going to have fun. I'm just glad that we don't have to deal with this anymore, because this really got on my nerves quick. It was a take your life into your hands situation. Really was a little worried about that. So let's just go ahead and kind of set that over there. We'll go ahead and get the torch fired up here. Yeah. Alright. It don't take much. We just want to basically keep it from unwinding. That'll work. Okay. I don't know if that's going to be long enough, folks, but we're going to give it a try. Alright, I think that'll work. It's going to probably be a little short, but we will make it work. So along with my YouTube channel, I do have a website. You can find me at therbcollection.org. Man, some of these things to remember. There you'll see some of my equipment that I have. Kind of related to this piece of equipment, I do have a articulated garden tractor that's really rare that I've restored, and ironically it runs the same engine as what we're going to be working on here. So that's kind of cool. Now I wish I had a rope start on that one, however I actually have the crank on that one, and that was kind of like an option for these. I'm not sure exactly what years they ran those on those engines, but it really would not be that hard to go ahead and use that same crank on this engine if we decided to come with that and do away with the rope pull, take your life in your own hands type situation. So anyway, so we got that. Now for the rope, or for the puller, we're going to use this little dowel here. I picked these up somewhere along the line. Thought, oh, they'd be good for something. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and cut down a certain length, and then kind of maybe round the corner a little bit, and then we'll get a hole drilled in it, feed the rope through, and look at that, we got one already. So that'll be the plan. Let me go ahead and get my saw set up, and we'll go ahead and start with that. Alright, and like that, I've got a couple little pieces of wood. So, happened to just have my jigsaw handy. It's probably not the right tool for the job, but it was available, it was handy, so I use that to lop these off. And if I'm in the process of using the not so right tools for the job, why not go ahead and use my palm sander to go ahead and round the corners off? I mean, I figure, hey, why not? Anyways, so we'll get a little aggressive, more aggressive sandpaper on the old palm sander here, and I'll probably just go ahead and turn it up like this and just kind of work it around, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Again, not perfect, but it will do the job. I'm sure if I was doing a professional job to the point and stuff, I'd have to give a little credit to my old buddy Squatch253. Does an amazing job. And if you haven't already, you might check out his channel. He does very similar things. He does an absolutely wonderful job restoring tractors, as well as many other things. So check him out as well. Next step for these, I'm going to go ahead and drill some holes through them for the rope. I think that's 5/16 gauge rope, so probably 5/16 holes what we're going to have to go with on those. Once we get them through, I'll probably go ahead and put a little teak oil on these. If you know anything about me by now, you know I like my teak oil on wood stuff. Prefer it almost over stain. I've had too many issues with products lifting in the elements and stuff, and teak oil just seems to be one of those products that works really well, and you can apply more as it fades off. So yeah, let me go ahead and get the drill press set up, and we will get these drilled. Alright, let's see if we can get dangerous here. Not sure how well this is going to work, but we're going to definitely give it a go. I think it'll work just fine. And like that. We'll go ahead and clean these up a little bit and go put some of that teak oil on there. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Oh yeah. Give it a rich look finish. Oh man. There we go, we got two of them. I'll go put this up, and then I think our next step is going to be to go ahead and maybe lace the rope through and tie some knots. Alright, so here we are. We've got our post right on through the rope there. I ended up having to pull out the drill and make the hole a little bit bigger because wouldn't you just know, 5/16 rope, even though it's really loose, it just wouldn't fit. So not a big deal, just pulled out the drill and went ahead and made the hole a little bit bigger, was able to get that on there. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to tie a knot on both sides, and that's where it gets to be fun. Not a professional knot tire, we're just going to do a regular square knot and make the best of it, see what happens. Alright, so I just put a knot on both sides, and the next thing we're going to want to do is, because this is nylon rope, what typically works best is if you heat it up just a little bit, it kind of melts it into form and it's less likely to slip loose. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll fire up our torch one more time here. I think those ones are pretty solid. Let's do the other one. Just getting just a little bit brown on it, and that's how I know that it's done, other than it being really hot. Yeah, I think that'll work. Just like that. Man, I want to try it on an engine. I think I'll do that. Alright. So like I was saying, this rope's probably a little too short for our liking, but I think we'll make it work. It's actually pretty good, feels the pulley pretty good. Who knows, maybe this thing will start right up today. I don't know, folks. I still think that the mag's got to be dealt with, but hey, it sure is fun. Yeah, let's do the mag. Alright, so here we go. I got the mag off. Start with going ahead and removing this wire. Thought it was going to work, but you know, can't get it right every time. Alright, so this is what I was talking about. So this wire is just like really flexible. It's like not even wire, it's just more of a conductive. And I have a feeling that that's probably what's up with this. I've never really had good luck with this. I mean, like I was saying, electronic ignitions, yeah, it works. But on this older stuff, junk. So, yeah, we'll build one of those in a little bit. Let's go ahead and tear into this and replace the points, or at least take a look at the points first. It has this little spring clip for the cover, kind of cool. Alright, there's our points. But we're going to go ahead and remove the cap. To do that though, we got to take out this screw. We learned that earlier in our videos. This is just the main junction screw where the condenser and coil and everything all butt up to. Magnetos used to be really intimidating to me, and that's one thing that my grandfather was really good at. He was really good at rebuilding magnetos. We started off with an old VHS tape on how to rebuild a magneto. So yeah, that's one of those things you learn later in life. I wish I had focused a little bit more on is magnetos and carburetors. But you know, at least I'm getting somewhere. Alright, so we can just go ahead and set this part aside. Everything we need is right in there. So let me go ahead and get set up, and we'll see what we want to start with. Alright, so I think we're ready here. Decided I'm going to go ahead and do the points. Have them, why not? So these are what I got with that other carburetor, or the other magneto. And, you know, it is the right one. Hopefully. So, yeah, and then there's the point. So let's go ahead and tear into this and tear this apart. These aren't too difficult either. Pop that loose. Let's go ahead and pop that in there. Just a bunch of little screws and everything holding it down. Boy, more I look at that, I'm hoping that's the right condenser. You may be using the same condenser. Looks like it might be framed a little bit differently. But we'll know here soon. Okay. Let's go ahead and remove the spring clip. There we go. The other screw for the condenser. Ta-da. Alright, so that is definitely a funky frame. Interesting, I say. Alright, let's go ahead and loosen this up. Bushing. Okay. There we go. We are all out. Cool. Alright, I am going to go ahead and take a look at our new parts, kind of get an idea as to the old parts and see where we're at. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, these points are definitely pretty hammered. I mean, if we had to make them work, we can make them work. Yeah, I don't even know how they were meshing together. They were definitely ground down and off even. So, okay, cool. There we are. Let's go ahead and get the new stuff figured out here. Alright, so do you want the good news or the bad news first? So here's where we're at. The set of points and the condenser that I had, I knew right away the condenser wasn't going to work. Let me show you why. So this one's just got a tube as to where this one has like the whole mounting base and stuff. And I've never seen these be able to pop out of there. So yeah, there we go. So that's out the door. Then I started looking at the point set, and our points are definitely hammered. But the bases are completely different from what this bag was labeled. So once again, I don't know what these are to. They'll get put in the scrap pile. So thought, okay, well, I may have to end the video here. Go ahead and order a set of points at like 70 bucks. Yeah, I don't think so. And then I remembered I had some more points up in the cabinet. And lo and behold, in my John Deere stuff, of all things, I came across a new set of points, or a used set of points that's been pulled off of stuff, but the bases are still really clean. So I think I'll be able to use these components. I'm going to put the condenser back in. Let's go ahead and get her cleaned up and put back together. And yeah, we should be in shape. Kind of a bummer with that, but it's okay. It happens. It's for something. Now this extra set I have did come with this as well, which would work, except for there was a lot of corrosion on this. So I'm just going to take a wild guess and say that this thing's leaking and it's no good. We'll go ahead and put this one back in. That's what we can do for now. And in the midst of all the new parts, look at that, even have a gasket for it. All things, there we go. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get these cleaned up, and we'll go ahead and start the reassembly process. Alright, so I started with going ahead and mounting the condenser back in there. We're ready to go ahead and start mounting the points. So we'll start with the bottom here. There's that. Sits right inside there. Now what we can do is we go ahead and put the flat washer right there. Put the little bushing there. Okay. Then let's go ahead and put the screw in to hold that bottom end. We don't want to tighten this up because we are going to have to adjust the points. But we do need to go ahead and get it started. Of course. Let's try this one more time. Just like that. Okay, those are still loose, and the way we can tell is this is our adjustment right there. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and get the new point section put in there. There, looks like it has a bushing in it already. We won't be needing that. Okay. Just like this. There we go. Making good contact. Gonna put this screw on in there. Snug. Alright. So that's that. I decided I'm going to go ahead and put a new felt in. I had it, so why not? Get rid of those. And this can always be a challenge. Sometimes you get lucky and squeeze it in the middle and shove it down. Baby. There we go. And just somewhere right in the middle there. We'll go ahead and get her greased up again one more time before we put the cover back on. So we're at a point now where we need to work on points. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run my points file across there just a couple times, nothing big, just to clean it up, and then we'll go ahead and put the Magnito back together, and we will adjust the point gap. So let's go ahead and grab. So as I mentioned, I have a gasket, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on right now. Ideally, might need to do it again when we go ahead and then restore this engine, but hey, I've got it. Why not? So let's kind of get the old gasket out of the way there. Run our parts brush through, knock anything loose off. And I think we're in good shape there. Alright. Bada boom, bada bang. How about that? Okay. I think I'm happy with that. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and mesh these back together. Gotta feed these wires through. Okay. There they are. And then got the drive. Okay, look at that. Looks good. Go ahead and get a couple screws going here. Kaboom! Alright, so we will still need to get a gasket for this top cover, but you know, I don't foresee this thing being out in the rain here, so it isn't going to really matter for a little bit. But yeah, eventually we'll have to go ahead and get a rebuild kit for that. Those gaskets are a little bit hard to make. They're so tiny. So, alright, I'm going to go ahead and get all these terminals mounted back down here, and we'll come back to you in just a moment. Alright, so after fighting that, I got those back on. So we're ready to adjust the points. Yeah, so right now is where it's at. So what we want to do is we want to get the lobe to the highest point, which should be right about there. Okay. And we need to adjust it to 15 thousandths. Now we are way open, I can see that. So we'll go ahead and crack it down just a little bit. Okay. That's closer, it's still a little bit. Alright, so I think that's 15 thousandths right there. Go ahead and make sure that's tight. Alright. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of oil on this felt. Come on, soak in. There you go. Alright. And then we'll put this cover back on. And then I want to clean this lug. Okay. Alright, so we should be all good there. Let's go ahead and get this cleaned so that we know that this is a good positive ground here. It's just a brass terminal, so we'll go ahead and get that done, and then we'll get ready to do a spark plug wire. Alright, we are down to the draw here now. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and replace this spark plug wire with some real spark plug wire. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started here. See what kind of connectors we're going to need. One's pretty nice. What are those? Those are straight shot lugs. And those are elbow lugs. We might just do an elbow lug. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we need to do a deep lug. Just something to cover it. Let me check on this. Yeah, so we'll go with that one. So we're just going to do a shallow connector. That one there. And we'll probably go with that boot there. Just needs to cover the plug in. It doesn't really need to go far down on the plug. So we'll go ahead and put this kit away. Now the more I've done stuff like this, I've learned I like to just get kits and figure out what to do. You can go nickel and dime and get the exact little connector and stuff, but usually having these kits is so handy to have around. And like I said, we're going to have a couple other projects coming up on the channel where we're going to need some more ends and stuff. So what I want to do is I want to make this cable just slightly longer than this. So let's just kind of measure out here. And I'm thinking about like that kind of length right there. And I'm not sure if my new tool has a cutter on it. Yeah, so let me just grab a set of cutters here. Alright, there we go. There's our new piece. It's a done deal now. We'll go ahead and put this stuff away for later. Alright, so one thing I've learned is that when you crimp stuff, I can probably get away with just crimping it and putting it on here. But I think it's a good idea to go ahead and add a little solder So let me go ahead and pull out my soldering iron. Haven't used that thing in a couple of years. This ought to be fun to relearn. Boy, it's been so long since I've made cable like this. My grandfather actually taught me how to do this. So let's see, it's probably been since 94, 95 since we've done this. So let's relearn the skill here. Ta-da, there we go. Okay. So we got a good start there. Now one thing I should have done before, and I can still get it from this side, is go ahead and always put your boots on first. Make your life so much easier. There we go. Alright, so now the trick with this is you want to fold it over like that and then put the contact on. Okay. Line her up all good. Here we go. There we go. There's a good crimp. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put a little drop of solder in there. You'll probably be alright with this, but man, why not? Let's do it. Alright, I'm not sure if we're hot enough yet or not. This tip is really dirty. It's got a bunch of excess solder on it from last time. So I was trying to melt it off. Yeah. There we go. Now we're cooking. Okay, I think that'll work, folks. It's definitely holding in there. It just give it a better contact than what it had. So, yeah. Cool. So we should be all good there. Like I said, it's been a while since I've soldered. Alright. Yeah, so you can see there that we just kind of just got a little bit of solder in there, and it's making good contact. So the next thing is, on this other end, we will need to go ahead and cut a little bit off of this, because this particular Magnito has just a coil round lug, and just wrap the wire around. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Just like that. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this stuck in the Magnito. Okay. And now with any luck, let's see what we get in here. Okay. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten down that just a little bit. I'm not going to go crazy on it, but I want to make sure that the wire doesn't come out and that it is getting good contact. And it feels like it is. Yeah, we should be good there. Alright, we should be good to go ahead and slip this boot up on there. Look at that, almost looks professional, guys. Alright, so the next step is I'm going to go ahead and put this Magnito back on, and then I'll bring you guys on. Who knows, maybe we will complete out the Will It Run series tonight. Let's don't get our hopes up, but it's looking pretty good. Alright, so Magnito is back on there and hooked up. I'm game to give it a try. Let's go ahead and do this. Who knows, maybe we'll get lucky. First pull. First pull, people. There we go. We got us a running engine. Now we can get a Gibson tractor going. Awesome. Woo! Yeah. Alright, I'm stoked. There we go. We got us a running engine. Whew, finally. Okay, so what's next? Yeah, so this engine is complete with the exception of the air cleaner. And like I said before, I do have access to one of those, so that'll be coming up. I'm happy to hear it run. It runs really clean. I don't want to run it too much tonight. We'll do that tomorrow when I can open up the door and everything, let it vent out. So everything looks really good on it. The fuel bowl is leaking just a little bit right at the turn-off valve. I think that just needs to be packed or tightened up. So that's it on that. So we have us a running engine. I think our plan moving forward is to go ahead. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do next, folks. I could either go ahead and take this apart and restore it, or what we may do is go ahead and bring up the tractor next and get the attachments off. I think that's where we're going to head next. Trying to move things around a little bit. I've got some things in the works. I got to get some funds together in order to paint this, so I'm working on that right now. So hope you like this content. Will It Run is complete. It does run. We got us a running engine. So we'll continue on in the Gibson tractor restoration process here. Excited, yeah, nice little engine. So if you haven't already, give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Leave comments. Love reading the comments. And I look forward to our next video. Have a great evening.